YouTube. Oh man, long day. Still at work. I'm about to touch on this shit though. Wait till some motherfuckers get in here. Somebody just sent me something. I was doing some paperwork for the shop before I got out of here. And I said, what the hell? Let me get on this motherfucker and address this. Motherfucker sending me shit. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm done with it. Motherfuckers gonna believe what they gonna believe. But this is to the podcast, so they quit running false ass content and get their motherfucking ass sued. But I'm gonna wait till motherfuckers get in here before I talk. Cause what's gonna happen is Cuff gonna sue some of you motherfuckers for defamation around trying to call you the police and all this shit. But anyway, um, this is to all the podcasters that's running this story. I was actually doing paperwork and shit. I gotta file taxes on the company soon. I'm lightweight, kind of nervous because they keep fucking with the IRS, firing people, and I don't know who the fuck my taxes is going to for my company. And somebody sent me a video of the guy, Sean G, I guess, for Soul Podcast or whatever, and he doing an interview with dude who was in the house with Southwest T, which I know about that story. That's when they raided the house in St. Louis and found T with all that drugs and shit in the house. But he talking about, how Meech put him with Tammy too, and he cussed her out, and Tammy ran and gave the feds the recording and said, get this audio or whatever, and they wouldn't give Cuff a bond. He mentioned that, about how they wouldn't give him a bond, saying he was a flight risk, but he never said who dude's name was. Dude come out and dress it, say he was on the phone with 42 Doug and Meech and all that, and arguing with 42 Doug. Because these niggas think Meech is a fucking Vogue hero. And he ain't. Alright? There's other motherfuckers that held solid in Detroit. Ain't got a lot of money that didn't do the shit he did. Meech got out twice. First time he got out, he took a plea, and he said everybody up under him on this case that was left worked for him, which shit on all they rights to fight their case because the head of the motherfucking indictment says you work for him. So you basically either got to cop out or they're going to use his statement against you. That's one. Two, I'm about to tell you something, right? And this is why I say you people need to stay out the fucking streets. Because for some reason, y'all think the feds and the state are the same thing. And they're not, okay? The state is like the minor leagues, the feds is the majors. They tell you this when you get indicted. You made it to the major leagues. We the big boys. We follow our own set of fucking rules. Right? What? Dude, I don't give a fuck. Report me to whoever you reported me to. Don't give a damn. Anyway. So, they tell you that. Like, yo, we the majors. We ain't the minors. We do shit our own way. They hide shit. They tuck shit. They extract shit. So everybody's trying to run with, oh man, with the paperwork. That is the dumbest shit I ever heard, right? The only thing in the paperwork is 5K1s, downward departures, safety valves, debriefing, shit like that. That's shit you look for when you on the yard, all right? When homeboys used to get off the bus, and for sure, when homeboys used to get off the bus and they would bring their paperwork to the car, that's what motherfuckers look for. In this case, this ain't gonna be in there. But this will. If an informant, because I ain't gonna be on here too long, I'm just gonna say this. Like, follow, subscribe. I'm gonna give y'all some game. Okay? And this is why the fuck y'all should stay out the streets. Because some of you motherfuckers is boo-poo dumb. If they put an informant on the stand in open federal court. Okay? That's what the judge, the prosecutor, the defendant, his attorney. We ain't even talking about the fucking jury is there. Okay? An open federal court proceeding, and then they make the people that's in the courtroom watching the proceeding leave. So the informant can testify. And he says or she says your name in open federal court pertaining to the investigation, and you ain't even there with the defendant. You ain't even there with your co-defendant. In open federal court, and they mention your name in any way in an open federal court proceeding pertaining to the investigation of the case, you're on the case. Point blank, period. Ain't no getting around it. Ain't no ducking it. Nothing. If they put a federal informant on the stand and they mention your name in open federal court pertaining to the case that the defendant is filing this motion for, because 9 times out of 10, it's not the prosecution. It's the defendant who's filing this motion to de-seal the files and the documents pertaining to the case, because the feds like to duck their hand, and they mention your name in any way in open federal court, you're on the case. Ain't no getting around that, bro. Can't hide that. Okay? And it's going to be on there. Just like hers was when she kept saying, Meech ain't on the case. Yes, he is. And that's why they was asking her about it. He's on the case. Because they would have never mentioned his name. It would never be a situation with Cuffey. It would never be a situation with Meech. And it would never be a situation with Tammy if he didn't have nothing to do with it. Bottom line. And that is common fucking sense. They will not mention your name in open federal court. I'm talking about with the prosecution, the judge, the defendant, and his attorney, and they mention your name in open federal court, you're an unindicted or unidentified co-conspirator. Bottom line. And the reason you ain't sitting beside your co-defendant, pertaining to the case, is that you cooperated. It's that simple, bro. And I don't know why these people is trying to make this more than what it is. Because if he did not cooperate, when they had that hearing, and they was going to mention his name in open court, he would have been sitting beside Cuffey as his co-defendant. Because if we didn't tell on each other, they can take us to court together. That's another thing you motherfuckers ain't understanding. If we didn't talk to the feds about the situation that we're locked up for, then we can go to court together. There's no conflict of interest. Okay? None. We don't have a separation on each other. Okay? We're fighting this together. So every time it's a hearing, we would be together. Me, you, and whoever else on the case that held solid. If it's a motherfucker on the case who didn't hold solid, and they're mentioning his name on the case, he's cooperating. And that's cut and dry. So all you motherfuckers running around here talking about Detroit, I'm riding with, he hot, man. He's hot. He know he got down. Okay? And that's why they was asking the girl on the goddamn stand. And they was mentioning his name in open federal court. Because he cooperated. Ain't no way to get around it. And I was done with it. Till the motherfucker sends me to interview with dude. Okay? I left it alone. I didn't care no more. Because people are fools. And until they get in a situation where it's a motherfucker telling on them, then they will understand. Okay? that the feds work different. Then they try to apply the state laws on how the state do things, how the feds do things. They're totally different. The feds pay the state. Who you think gets the money? Who you think pays the state? The feds. They the ones that give the state their funding. So, with that being said, it's simple and dry, bro. They put her on the stand and they asked her, bro, female, whoever it was, the such and such had no, he didn't have nothing to do. Why would you ask her about a motherfucker that ain't got nothing to do with it then? We in open federal court. You're wasting the court's time asking her about a motherfucker ain't got nothing to do with this shit. Makes no sense. Yes, they can hide his name. Yes, they can distract his name. Oliver North stood in front of the fucking government and said that he's so dope for the country. And they said it was for the best interest and national security of the government. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, Oliver North did that. Sat in front of there and said, yeah, I sold dope so we can supply the Contras with guns. Okay? And he's still a fucking general to this day. So, this is how they work. If you sit on the stand in a federal court proceeding and mention a person's name, pertaining to the case, they're on the case. Ain't no getting around that. You can cut the shit. You can pour as much sugar as that motherfucker. If you pour a whole bunch of sugar in that motherfucking Kool-Aid, it's gonna be sweet, bro. Just what it is. Alright? And no, they don't gotta get cuff arrow the evidence to the case. No, they don't have to. Yes, they can hide whatever the fuck they wanna hide. Yes. If they think they asset, which is a federal informant, is very important, they working on multiple cases, yes, they will hide. Okay? If the fucking informant is in jail already and he's working on a whole lot of cases, yes, they will put him on a whole different fucking prison yard where a whole lot of other motherfuckers is cooperating. Yes, the feds have those. They have whole separate prisons where they house inmates that's cooperating. It's going back and forth to court, cooperating on other people's cases. And that's where the fuck Meech was at. Okay? Because he couldn't stay in open population because people was blowing down him with affidavits for him to sign about dude. So he couldn't stay on the regular prison yard. He got blew down on about 5 times with an affidavit saying sign this or get the fuck off the yard. That's where he ran into Gangster Williams at, who also was on a whole private, segregated penitentiary yard when he was cooperating giving up murders back in New Orleans, which he's out behind right now. Okay? Same shit with Sammy the Bull. He was in one. Alpor Martinez was in one. Yeah. Rayful Edmond was in one. Yeah. They have whole separate prisons for motherfuckers who cooperating with the government. Because they can't have them on a regular yard because they can be extorted. They can be killed. The cases they could be working can get out. They might be working on cases on the yard where the motherfuckers at. They can't have them around them. They can't leave them in a hole all the goddamn time because it's inhumane. So they gotta have a whole separate prison for these motherfuckers to live, to be able to cooperate with the government, to get their time cuts, to get the fuck out. And they have specially built for that situation. And that's where he was at. Bottom line. So this narrative that motherfuckers just attacking Detroit makes no sense. I know he's everybody's folk hero. Hey man, it happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us, man. Motherfucker believe in some shit, think some shit real, and then come out and it's fugazi. Like the last video I just put up, it's fugazi. The shit's fugazi. He know what he did. That's why he was going back and forth to court in 2013. He was already sentenced. He took a plea. Fuck is he going back? He can't get a time cut. He took a plea. He don't get none of that shit. He don't get no downward departure. Why is you going back and forth to court? Come on, man. But this is social media, and you got a whole lot of dickheads who ain't never been in trouble who tap into this motherfucker. And you got a whole lot of motherfuckers who ain't never been to the feds. They only been in the state. And the state has to go by certain guidelines, certain rules. And if they don't, that's how people get back on the pills and get their cases overturned. The feds doesn't really have a case overturn rate this high. They got a high conviction rate. They don't got a high turnaround rate unless the law passes. Because they bury people. They bury paperwork. They bury the motherfucking informants. And they bury the inmates. That's how they get down. That's how they've been getting down since in the town. How you think they took over this country? Like, do y'all know the federal government is the same federal government that the South fought? Did y'all know that? All right. If you could dig up any of them motherfuckers when the first Civil War was going on, they'd tell you how wild, how crooked the fucking United States government is because they lost to them too. When the South fought the North, the South fought the United States government. See, you motherfuckers is retarded. Y'all don't even know that. Yeah. The North was the United States government. And they wanted to absorb the South under the United States government. And the South fought to be independent and lost too. Okay? The South was their own government. So they went and whooped a whole nother government in this country and absorbed it into their own. Took it over. And then murdered every other slave master that was in the South. And gave all the land to the slaves. This is the same government that wiped out the fucking Indians. The United States government. So they've been doing this since the beginning of time. Don't you think it was informants back then? It was informants when it was the North against the South. It was an informants when it was South, when the United States was fighting the Indians. They've been developing informants since the beginning of the time. They got this shit on the string, brother. So, and this is what I'm saying. If you gonna get in the streets, bro, learn the laws. Learn how these motherfuckers operate. Learn the shit they do. Don't say the shit they can't do, because they gonna do it anyway. So learn the shit they do. All right? Before you try to jump off the porch and jump into this shit. All right? The feds are so fucked up, they'll supersede and indict you because you won't cooperate. They'll say, okay, we knocked you with 32 bricks, right? And a gun. Want to indict you for the gun. Come to you about the 32 bricks. You want to cooperate? No. Okay. They'll come to you again. You want to cooperate? No. Kiss my ass. Okay. Well, now we're going to supersede and indict you with this gun that we found that we initially didn't charge you with. But we held it over your head just in case you ain't want to fuck with us. So now we're going to supersede you indictment with this gun. And now you're an armed career criminal too. Plus, you might be a career criminal with the drugs also. So now you just got 15 years for armed career criminal. Plus, you're looking at the life sentence for the habitual drug offender also. So now you got a habitual drug defendant, you got a habitual drug indictment, and you got an armed career criminal indictment because now they're charging you with a gun on a whole separate indictment they done superseded you for because you wouldn't talk to them. Now you done ended up with 80 years. I done seen it done. I done read it. Some motherfuckers PSIs in the feds, man, it's like a goddamn movie. You would think it's a movie. I tell people, if a producer want to make a movie and that motherfucker raw, let him walk around a federal institution and interview them motherfuckers and see some of they motherfucking PSIs. Oh my God. You be like, what? I got all the motherfucking masterpieces right here. I got all the blockbuster motherfucking joints right here. Box office in this motherfucker everywhere. And they'd be happy to let you see here, man. Write about this. Yeah. Yeah. All they get, if a producer, I'm talking to the producers, if you want to write a movie, you get some of them motherfucking PSIs from the feds and read that shit and make a movie about that. Ooh, wee. Not to mention, dude gave an informant his power of attorney. Like, how much shit gotta be brought to light? How can you give your power of attorney to a federal informant who's mentioning your name in open federal court and it's more y'all gotta see? Yeah, you motherfuckers are retarded. Y'all don't get, y'all stay out the streets, bro. Cause they gonna hit y'all with the woo wham and you motherfuckers ain't gonna know nothing. You give your power, fuck the life rights. That's something totally different. All right? That's pertaining to if you motherfucker want to make a movie, which you don't even need that. All he needs is a PSI. But he couldn't give his PSI up because he got down on his co-defendants on the case. That's a whole separate situation. So he couldn't give his PSI up. So he gave his life rights up. In order to keep him out of the motherfucking black and white, he gave his power of attorney up. But they still asked his power of attorney on the stand in open federal court about him. And y'all still need more to prove? Like, what? Come on, man. But y'all don't know what the power of attorney is. Do do your research on what a power of attorney is. That means any legal criminal defendant, any legal criminal matter, they can defend you on. You are basically their lawyer. When you sign them forms and you hire a lawyer, that's what he is. Your power of attorney. That's what the fucking means. So you ask this man's power of attorney in open court, did he have any involvement with this man being indicted? Yes, he did. Or you wouldn't be asking his power of attorney this. She wouldn't be his power of attorney, and Cuff wouldn't be sitting here looking at a whole nother indictment with this Mexican. Come on, man. I said, bro, I'm tired of this. I'm tired. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Because these kids are slow. This is the era of Fugazi. And these niggas running around here buying a whole lot of Morrisonites, thinking that shit's real. Trying to justify the fact that a Cree diamond is better than the real joint. All right, this is the Cree era. This is the fake era. This is the era where they pressing pills. This is the era where they selling fake syrup. This era where they wearing fake clothes. And this the era they making whole different cars with fake front ends and fake seats and whole lot of fake shit going on. So you motherfuckers gonna believe the fake shit before you believe the real shit. All right. Period. But that's why they don't. I be seeing them mention shit that like Sean G just said something about unindicted co-conspirator. He heard that from me. Yeah. I'm the one to put that in his comments. They weren't even speaking on the unindicted co-conspirator. I put that in his comments because I know how it works. That's why he is his unindicted co-conspirator. That's why they was able to ask her questions about him in open federal court. Because he was his unindicted co, or he'd have been beside him. When they snatched him up, when they snatched Suarez up, they would have snatched Meech's ass up too. And he would have had another indictment on top of the one he just got sentenced for 30 years for, which was the BMF indictment. He would have had that too. But why wasn't he in court? But they're bringing his name up in court. But you ain't there. Why? Why the fuck is you still on a federal compound somewhere and I'm in federal court and they're asking, my lawyer's asking this government's federal informant about you? Why? Prosecutor didn't come out and say, nah, he ain't even on the case. He ain't got nothing to do with this. They didn't strike the shit from the record. They would have had to strike it from the record because it's illegal. It's illegal to bring anybody's name up in a federal proceeding criminally. Criminally. Civilly too. That has nothing to do with the situation. That's illegal. Okay? That is illegal. Everybody's name that's brought up in the court proceedings has something to do with the case. They cannot bring your name up in a federal court proceeding, whether it's civil or criminal, if you don't got nothing to do with it. It's criminally it's criminally illegal. Okay? They can't even have the proceeding if they bring a name up that has nothing to do with the case. It's illegal. You can look that up. Illegal. Meaning, they cannot ask this, and they tell her that. They tell you that in court. We cannot ask you any questions that's not pertaining to this case. Do you know why? Because it's illegal. We cannot ask you any questions that's not pertaining to this investigation in open court. Thereby is illegal and will be stricken from the record. So you need to ask him that. Why would they bring your name up in open federal court and it's illegal if you ain't got nothing to do with the case? It's illegal. The feds are not allowed to do it, and neither is the state. They cannot say Billy Bob James did this, that, and the third if he had nothing to do with the case. And the feds don't take you to court unless they got all the ducks in the row. They don't go to court with what ifs. Okay? They don't do that because they don't want to lose. So they don't leave no rock unturned. So anybody or anything they asking you about in open federal court pertaining to the case is on the case. And that's it in a nutshell. So I'm tired of it. But what y'all can do is y'all can ship this shit to all these motherfuckers who running this shit, who just on here trying to get $1, who don't know nothing about the feds and how they work. Okay? Any government that can go get somebody from another country, bring them over here, and prosecute them in their court of law, is somebody you shouldn't fuck with. So I'm telling y'all, all right? I'm telling y'all, please stay out the streets, okay? Because some of y'all has no clue on how this shit works, okay? And half of y'all, if the feds swoop in and get the snag of you motherfuckers, you're gonna tell. You're gonna tell. Because they ain't coming to... The feds play with football numbers. They don't play with single shits. All right? And when we say football numbers, we talking about 14, 7, 14. That's how they go. 3, 7, 14, 21, 28, 34. Yeah, they playing with football numbers. All right? So please, stay the fuck out the streets. Watch YouTube, be entertained. That's cool, but please, stay the fuck out of the streets, bro. Please. Because when they get a hold of your ass and you don't know how the fuck they work, they gonna take advantage of that shit. And they gonna have your ass on one of these prison yards taking them Seroquels and them Thorazine pills trying to cope with that fucking time because they done hit your ass with about 30 years. Older than what the fuck you is. I done seen the motherfuckers give a dude 21, he 21, this nigga got 60 years. Yeah. And you would think that's life. No, life it says deceased. in the federal government's prisons. So you can get 60 years, and that ain't even life. All right? So please, stay out the streets, man. All right? Because obviously half you motherfuckers don't know how this shit works. And they going to tear y'all ass up. For sure. They going to tear y'all ass up. And then y'all going to go down there and sit down and try to talk to them. And then y'all going to go to one of these federal prisons. And they going to tear your ass up for talking to them. So they don't tell you that. Oh, yeah. They don't tell you that. You got to check that. You can check the knives in at the gate. And you check the paperwork in at the yard. And that's what they tell you. You check the guns and knives. You check the guns in at the gate, homie. And you check your paperwork in the yard. So you go ahead and talk to them if you want to. Because you can't take that gun to prison with you. Only thing you're going to be able to take with you is you and these papers. And if they're bad, you got to deal with that in there. You might not make it out alive. Or some prisons got rat exterminators. Their whole job in the whole prison is to knock rats down, is to murder rats. Stick a motherfucking knife in them as long as your kitchen table. Mm-hmm. Numerous times. Put that motherfucker in you, that bitch touch the back all the way. You hear that shit hitting on the ground up under you because that paperwork is bad. They don't tell you that though. They tell you say yourself. Well, talking to them ain't saving yourself. It ain't. That ain't saving yourself. Setting your ass up for failure. And when you go back, if you got to violate and go back and your shit was bad when you left, when you go back, it's still bad. That shit don't go away. Mm-mm. It don't. So, I'm signing out. Y'all share this. Take this as information. Okay? I will not throw that fugazi. What they say this is for educational. This is for entertainment. No, fuck that. The educational purposes. Fuck that. Just really for the motherfuckers who out there playing in the field. Get out. Because half the motherfuckers you run around with is informants. And they gonna burn your ass. And you gonna think that it's your man until they walk his ass on that stand and he look you in the eye and say, yeah, me and such and such did such and such, such and such, such. And it's gonna be too fucking late. So leave that shit alone out there. Because there's more motherfucking informants on the streets now than it is real motherfuckers. And I'm gonna tell you something. You find yourself jamming on a conspiracy with about 30 niggas, 27 of them gonna tell. Faster than you can. So I'm talking now. You'll start seeing it when they start y'all going there together. One minute all y'all together, then they just start separating motherfuckers. You'll get to know who telling in. Then you're gonna wish you took heed to what the fuck I was telling you. And I'm gone. Like, follow, subscribe.